Clients often ask me what kind of damages can be awarded in a medical malpractice case. The answer to that question is essentially twofold: economic and non-economic. And here's what that means. You can think of damages in a way as being hard numbers and soft numbers. Hard numbers are anything that are susceptible to being looked up by an outside source, easily ascertained, and whatever the number is, that's what the number is. There's not going to be a lot of argument about it. An example would be if a person is working and they earn X number of dollars per hour, which translates to Y numbers per week and Z numbers per year, then their damages for that year is Z. There's no arguing about it. If they didn't work for that amount of time, that's what the numbers add up to. So that's an economic loss. Economic loss also includes funeral expenses, medical expenses, anything that is an identifiable numerical loss can be recovered. Now, there are also past damages and future damages. Unfortunately, malpractice cases tend to mean that a person has a serious injury. A serious injury often means a permanent injury. And that means that whatever the loss is that we're talking about is not just for now. It's for now and into the future. How far into the future? Well, that becomes a battle of experts, maybe. But if the person is permanently paralyzed, for example, and there's not going to be any debate about that, and they've lost certain things or they're going to need certain medical things like durable medical equipment, such as a wheelchair, then these things are not going to be argued about. But now look at how this works. I'm going to make up a number for a wheelchair. Let's say the wheelchair costs $5,000. But a wheelchair lasts only a certain amount of time. So if the wheelchair needs to be replaced in 5 years, and the person has a life expectancy and is going to need the wheelchair for 25 years, that's 5 wheelchairs. Doesn't end there, though, because in 5 years, a wheelchair may not cost $5,000. A wheelchair may cost $5,500. And so when it comes to these economic losses, depending on the case, one of the things that we're going to have to do is hire a medical economist to look at the needs of the patient plaintiff and identify what the costs will be going forward. In fact, to make sure we don't miss anything, we will often have to hire a vocational rehab specialist or another kind of specialist to look at the injury that the patient had and determine what are the kinds of things that this person is going to need going forward to take care of them for the rest of their life. Not surprisingly, there's a name for this plan. It's called a life care plan. My firm and I have done many life care plans for many seriously injured plaintiffs and brain-damaged infants. It's something that we're used to doing, and we don't want to leave any stone unturned in doing it. I don't want to forget the non-economic loss. In some ways, that's the most important. What's the non-economic loss? That's the pain and suffering. There, unlike the hard numbers, these are what I would call soft numbers. They're subject to debate. They're subject to argument. How do you quantify the value of pain? And so these numbers are the numbers that can be determined in different ways by a jury. And so it's important when your case is being worked up and prepared to have an attorney who understands how to look at and explain those things that are more ambiguous so that fair compensation can be had at the time of trial. If you have a case where there's a serious injury and you think that we might be able to help you, please give me a call.